Hey, Rick, we had Erica Mayfield on there. I almost said that wrong. Copying after you. But so she was phenomenal. And what do you think was one of the best things about this, having her on?
I really liked her stories about her life before real estate, growing up in Carmel, traveling, the things that she did. And I really thought it was interesting to hear her job movement in real estate to get to the right spot for her and how appreciative she was of every spot she had worked at to that point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can see why she is a rising guru, and the level of knowledge she has and the passion to find that right team that worked exactly for her to help her grow is phenomenal.
And she's doing well.
Yes. So definitely, if you're wanting to listen to something, this is the one to listen to. She will enlighten you like you have never been enlightened.
Welcome to Indy's Real Estate Gurus, your ultimate guide to the dynamic world of real estate in Indiana. And I'm Rick Ripma, your hardworking mortgage guy, and I've been in real estate and mortgages for over 24 years.
And I'm Ian Arnold, a loan officer on Rick's hardworking mortgage team, and we are both with Advisors Mortgage Group. Together, we'll empower you with expert advice, market trends, and successful stories from guru realtors and local experts.
Whether you're a homeowner, investor, or pro, join us as we navigate the thriving Indy real estate market.
Now get ready to unlock the doors of success, one episode at a time.
Well, today we're really excited. We have Erica Mayfield.
Yes.
See, almost Mayfield.
Yes.
Right. And you're with Keller Williams.
Correct.
Are you on a team or is it just?
I'm on a team.
And what's the team name?
So I'm on the WISE group, but we are part of Keller Williams Indy Metro North.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And do you go into the office much, or are you pretty much?
So we have a smaller office. It's called the Hub, and it's actually in Geist. And so I do go over there. That's where I usually go. Yeah.
I think it's good to go to the office. But let's get before real estate. So let's talk about your life before real estate. Where did you grow up? I know you're from the area, but tell us your story.
Yeah. So I'm originally from Dallas, Texas, and we moved around quite a lot, and we ended up in Carmel, Indiana. So in 1993 is when we moved there. So from junior high to high school is where I ended up. And then my husband and I got married in 2003, and we moved out to San Diego. So we were there for 3 years, and then we came back to.
And he was in the military.
Yes, so he was in the military. He was in the Marine Corps, and he was a drill instructor out there. So we lived out there for 3 years, and that's where our son was born. Was in San Diego.
I was in the Air Force, and I'll tell you, I didn't like the drill instructors.
Yes,
and I got to think it's worse than the Marines.
Yes, they have a goal.
It's funny. I grew up in a Navy household. My stepdad was Navy. Everybody was in the forces. I didn't like the moving around, so I didn't go in. But my half brother went in, and I was like curious. I'm like, hey, so how was boot camp? And he goes, for us, it was simple. We're used to getting yelled at. We're used to getting this. He goes, as long as you just do what you're told. And I was like, oh, I figured.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Well, you could have made it then. I don't do what I'm told, I guess. That was my problem. They didn't like that. So you moved around, ended up in Carmel, spent your, what do they call it? The formative years really kind of here.
Yes.
Went to Carmel High School.
Yeah.
And then did you meet your husband here, or did you meet him somewhere else?
Yeah, no, so we met here. We actually met when we were 17.
Oh, really?
And, yeah,
wow.
He went to Pike High School, and I went to Carmel. I had a friend that grew up in Pike, and so that's how we met, but we didn't get married until 4 years after that. And so I don't know if you want me to share this or not, but when in 2003, like when the war was happening, I reached out to him because I knew he was in the Marines, and I just wanted to see if he was going over, and he wrote me back and basically said he was in town. He had just graduated from DI school, and so I met back up with him, and I knew that he was just someone that I couldn't have not had in my life again. So we got married 2.5 weeks later, and
wow, awesome.
So it's been 20 years now.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you.
And you have some kids, I think.
Yes, we do. So we have two. I have an 18-year-old son. He's a senior. And then I have a 15-year-old daughter. She's a sophomore. So, and we live in Fishers now. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Sorry.
No,
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
it's great there
Yeah.
too.
Fishers is very nice. It is. And I grew up in Indianapolis, so they're, Fishers, Carmel, Indianapolis, Noblesville, Westfield, Zionsville, the whole area. I like Brownsburg.
Yeah.
I mean, really, we are very fortunate, and the areas here in Indiana are in the definitely in the metro area are very, very nice with great schools. Fishers has great schools. They're all great.
Agree. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say I'm partial to Carmel. I've just lived here for so long now.
Yeah. Well, and they've done so much.
Yes.
Like in the last 20 years, it's unrecognizable.
Yes.
If you grew up here to what it is now. So
Yeah.
it's beautiful.
Yeah, my boys tell me, the ones that don't live here, two of them don't live here, and they tell me that they get lost because they're on a roundabout and it's like, okay, I don't know where I'm going.
Right.
Now, 'cause it's just, it can be confusing.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. It's amazing how things can change. So
quickly.
yeah, when you're not there and used to it. So you're doing that. Now, what was it that drew you to real estate? Usually there's a good story behind somebody becoming a real estate agent. What was it for you?
So when we lived in San Diego, I actually wanted to get into real estate at that time. But it's just I've always been drawn to it. And I just love helping people. And I feel like this is a way I can help people. I feel like buying a home can be an emotional, purchase, and even selling your home, creating so many memories there. And I think I just like being part of that process. But I never got started in San Diego because I got pregnant with my son, and then I had him. We moved here, and my husband became a firefighter in Fisher. So if you understand that, it's 24 hours on and then 48 off. But then sometimes they have part-time jobs, and it just wasn't really like the best situation for me to go get a part-time job because all of my money would go to daycare. And so I put it off. And about 5 years ago, I was thinking about getting in real estate, but I was kind of nervous because I thought it was saturated. Like, I have so many friends that are realtors. So I put it off for a few more years. And then my daughter and I went to Disney on a girls' trip with my best friend and her daughter. And we were coming back. This was post-COVID, so like 2021. I was like, I think I really want to do this. I need something for me, and my kids are getting older. And so I talked to my husband about it, and he was like, yeah, he goes, I think you'd be really good at it. And he goes, I think you should do it. And so I did.
That's great.
Yes.
And you're doing well.
Yes. Yeah. It's been better than I could expect it would go. So
that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So I do like to ask this question. So what was your perception before becoming a realtor, and now that you've become a realtor, what's the reality check?
It's a lot of work. Not that I didn't think it would be, but it definitely, you have to take your buyers to show them homes, and it's not like instant love the first time. And I think some people think that you just go show homes and write up offers, and it's not like that. There's a whole bunch of in between that, and I'm very passionate about what I do, and I want to deliver a certain service to my clients that I would expect. And so I work really hard, for them.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think it's always interesting especially people's reality check when they finally see, wait, this is not what it was. You're telling me HGTV is not correct?
Right. Yes, it's not.
Three houses and there you go.
Yes.
Well, even just prospecting takes a lot of time.
Yep.
Finding customers that people that you can help. It's in a way, it's some ways it's kind of easy because you just have to talk about real estate to everybody and everybody's interested in real estate. Right. On the other side, it's not. There's like you said, there's a lot of agents, so it takes a lot of effort, and I think that's what everybody misses. And it's not just the prospecting; it's everything. Even learning it and knowing. I mean, you think about all the areas you have to know.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's amazing.
Yeah, you're constantly learning whether you're helping someone or not. You're training. It's just constant, which I actually enjoy just because I was a stay-at-home mom before this for about 16 years. And so I'm like, I'm thriving. I'm like, yes, I have something, mentally to keep me busy. So it's been good. Mm-hmm.
So when you as a real estate agent, how do you at this point in time get your business? What do you do for prospecting? How do you do that?
So from the beginning right now, it's mostly my sphere. And I feel like I have been trying to build those relationships because I feel like the people that are going to come to you are the ones that trust you and know, like, they know you. And so that's really what I've been making a big effort is I want my clients or even future clients to know that I do care about them. Like I want them to know that I am trustworthy and loyal because I think that goes a long way. That's what I want, in a service provider. So I try to deliver that.
Yeah. So how do you do that? How do you keep in touch with those people or maybe reintroduce yourself to those people? How do you do that?
So I do have an event that I host, and I do, my husband, like our family, like our first responder family, like I do try to plan an event for them once a year. We have a pool party. And then my team, we just did a Santa night, which was amazing. It was our first one as a team. And I had some people come for that and they showed up. Actually, everyone that invited someone, they just loved it. So it's on an individual level, but then on a team level. But I just try to stay in contact with text or, send them a card or just, reach out and say, hey, how you're doing? Not because it's so much more than a transaction for me. It's not, I look for quality over quantity. And that will always be important to me because money will come and go. And of course, I do want to make money, but the relationships that I form are more important to me in this business. So, yeah.
So tell us, I want to hear about the Santa thing you guys spilled on. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So we had this amazing Santa actually. I believe it was Megan who hired him. I could be wrong, so I'm sorry if that's wrong. But his name is the Hot Rod Santa, and he came and we invited everyone for cookies and cocoa, and it was at the Hawthorns. And so we just opened it up, and everyone came and take photos with Santa, and then we are sending them out to them. So yeah.
Was this with kids?
Yes, kids, people could bring pets, although they didn't bring pets. Some of the firefighters came and took a photo. We had the Grinch there. It was so cute, but everyone just had such a great time. And I didn't realize how much Santa photos cost these days because my kids don't go anymore. And some people were saying it was like $40 to sit down with Santa.
Oh, really?
Yes. So,
wow.
Yeah. But anyway, so we were so excited to be able to provide this for our clients. So
nothing stays cheap.
No, it doesn't.
Nothing.
No.
Well, how'd you get the Grinch?
I think that was someone who had some I don't know. They were able to pull some strings to get him to come. So yeah.
I love the Grinch.
Yes, he was like the hit. He was a hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my daughter's favorite. Like literally in her room, she has all this Grinch stuff. Doesn't come down. It doesn't matter if it's Christmas or not. That stuff does not come down. She's obsessed with the Grinch. It's
funny you say that because there were a lot of people that came and he was their favorite. So I didn't realize how popular he had become.
I thought he was popular when I was a kid, but you can't really tell. It's just the show, but then what was the guy's name?
Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey did that, and I think that really helped him make him popular.
It ignited it again, yes.
So what about as you look at real estate, what would you say your superpower or superpowers are as it relates to real estate?
That's a good question. I don't know if I have like a really good answer for that. I think, I don't know. I think it's more personable for me. I don't even know as far as like buying or selling. As far as buying for clients, I want them to pick something that they want, they're going to love. And because they're going to be the ones that end up living in this house, for X amount of years. And then selling, I want to be able to provide a service to my clients that they'll be happy and they'll be glad, of what they make from the sale of their home. But I think it's just reaching people on meeting them at their level. I think really understanding what they want in a transaction.
Because real estate's really relationships.
Yes.
Really.
Yeah, I do. I feel that way.
Right.
And I feel like even as realtors, like we're all trying to reach the same goal. So let's help each other out, you know?
Right. I think that goes along with every top agent we've ever talked with. Mm-hmm. All the gurus say the same thing. They're all willing to help. They'll help anybody.
Yeah.
Because they care about the industry. They care about taking care of the client. They realize that if they can help somebody who's new, if they have a deal with them, it's just things go better.
Yeah, I agree. And it's funny you say that because I am learning that through my mentors is that they think that way. And so it makes me excited that, I'm glad to be surrounded with people that have like the same thinking.
Yeah. So I want your mentors to be impressed by you. So if there's somebody listening to this right now that has questions about real estate, whether there's buying, selling, or just need to have a conversation, what's the best way they can get in touch with you?
So they can call me. My phone number is 317-670-0304, or they can email me. It's my first initial E, Mayfield, Mayfield @kw.com.
That's actually a pretty easy one. You got some people with a huge long one. Yours is pretty easy.
I tried to make it simple.
That phone number, can they text that or just call it?
Yes, they can text or call.
Okay.
Text is usually better, just if I'm on the road or anything like that. I can usually respond quicker.
And what's the number again?
317-670-0304.
Perfect. And to get a hold of Ian or I, go to hardworkingmortgageguys.com. That's hardworkingmortgageguys.com. Or you can give us a call at 317-672-1938. That's 317-672-1938.
All right. So now we're going to take a little side step.
Okay.
We're going to get to know you a little bit more, not the real estate part. So what do you do for fun?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't really have a lot of time for fun. I feel like I am in the car most of the time driving my kids around. My son does have his license. He just doesn't have a car. So if I am, it's just usually sitting down, watching my trash TV.
So what's your favorite show to just lose your mind to?
This is going to be really, I don't know if I want to give this away. I watched 90 Day Fiance and I think it's because it's just an escape. I don't even, because sometimes it like is upsetting watching it, but I still watch it. It's just like, it's like a train wreck. Like you can't look away.
Yeah, but I will say, I mean, we all have our shows that we watch or do something, but it's an escape.
Yeah.
It's something to break us out of, all right, now I got to think about this. I got to think about that. No, I just want 30 minutes to an hour just to turn my mind off and just watch something dumb.
Yes. Yeah. And I think that's what it is.
Trust me. Rick comes in here and tells me some of the shows he's watching. I'm like, are you kidding me?
I do not. I don't watch any shows. That's the problem. I'm not a TV watcher. I'll watch Netflix and things like that, but I don't really watch.
Yes.
I don't really watch TV very much.
Yeah, I'm the same. I don't really have time, but if I do, that's what I'm watching.
But I will tell you, it's when our kids got old enough, like not yours, when yours leave the nest, really when they leave. It took about 6 months, and my wife and I are looking at each other like, I'm bored out of my ever living mind.
Yeah.
It's terrible because your whole life is running them around, going to their sporting events, going to school for whatever they're in, doing whatever, your life is around them. And all of a sudden you got to change.
Yes. Yeah.
And so you're smart to actually recognize that already and starting to look for things to do, like whatever I've never heard of the show. So
it's when I have nothing to do. That's what I'm watching.
Yeah, I didn't know real estate agents ever had nothing to do. I thought you always had something to do.
Yeah. It feels that way.
So let's get more of the real estate start. So who has mentored you and gave you all their expertise? Who do you think?
Well, I feel like I've had a lot of different people. It's been kind of like a stepping stone my whole career. So when I initially started, my friend Josh McNair helped me, and he was graceful enough to let me come and work for his brokerage. And it's just him. And So I was able to do that for a little bit, and he really did take me under his wing and help me. And then I moved over to Remax for a little bit, and I feel like everybody there was like a great help. And then Megan really helped me a lot these last 6 months. I have a listing in Cambridge, and it's a luxury listing, and it's my first luxury listing, and I kind of didn't know where to go with it. So I reached out to all of the realtors in that area, and she was the only one who got back to me and took the time just to talk. And she didn't try to recruit me or anything. She was just trying to offer me her help. And I was like, this is how I want to be. I want to be a person or a realtor that can offer help, especially to someone new, and without expecting anything in return. So a couple of months ago, we sat down and had coffee, and she was just telling me, like talking to me about stuff. And I was like, I wonder if she's looking, for anybody to join her team, because I would love to. And she just happened to mention it. And I felt like the stars were just aligned, because she really does mirror the type of agent that I want to be. So I think who's had the most impact on me in the shortest amount of time would be her. So, yeah.
It's Megan what?
Wise.
Wise. Okay, so that's the Wise Group.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
It is nice when you find the perfect group. I mean, just because we all get in a job, and one, we don't know anything about it to a point. I mean, you're learning, but then you find out, wait, it can be done this way, or it can be done this way. And there's many different ways, but trying to find the right team to work with can be hard for especially newer agents at the start. Mm-hmm. And it's awesome that you found the right one for you.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah. It happened. I don't know how to explain it. They're all the same. They all have that good energy, and everybody really does support everyone. And I'm really thankful to have found them so early on in my career. So, yes.
Well, I want to know, and this is off the subject a little bit, but your husband's a firefighter now. Mm-hmm. So how do you deal with that? Because now that's got to be scary at times.
Yeah, so it can be. It has been hard, I will say, just the time-wise, because he works so much, and thankfully he has been able to provide for us and stuff. Me staying at home wasn't a luxury. It was just something that we had to do. And it can be difficult. Like, you sometimes feel like a single parent, raising two kids. It was harder when they were younger, but now that they're older, it's easier because they can do things on their own. Yeah. But I do appreciate his job and everything. He loves his work. And so I never want to stand in the way of that, especially when he was in the military. It's very hard when you come out of the military to find a job that matches kind of that same work ethic, I guess you could say. I couldn't see him sitting in an office job. So this definitely
Did he have withdrawal symptoms we didn't have anybody to yell at?
No, but I'm sure he wanted to. I'm sure he misses that sometimes.
He has kids. He has somebody to yell at.
No,
they're probably doing something wrong at one point in time.
It's so funny because he is he can turn it on and off. And so that part of him at work never came home. And so I admire him for that, and obviously, the type of job he has to do, he has to be able to do that. So, anyways, I'm talking about him too much. I do love him a lot, so that's probably why.
No, I think it's interesting. It's a great job. I had a customer who I called him, and I hear the siren, right?
Yeah.
And he's on a run. I figured they were concentrating on what they were doing. No, he picked up the phone and he was talking to me.
Yeah.
I thought, wow, that's interesting. I don't know if I'd do that.
No, yeah.
But
probably not.
Yeah, but when he does it all the time, there's a difference. I mean, that's just the norm. That's him going to get bread at the store. I mean, that's nothing.
So what is your life like? The daily grind of a real estate agent?
It is work. Basically, I feel like I'm working 24/7. It is always on my mind, and I'm constantly, if I'm helping clients, I'm constantly looking for homes that might match their criteria. I am, right now, I'm doing classes, during this time and trying to cultivate, my sphere for the upcoming year. And it's just 24/7, always going.
I would think it would be. Now, are you able to work with some of your husband's,
Yes, I have. So that has been a blessing, and it's been exciting. So I'm glad that I can help them, and thankfully they have good things to say. It's been a good experience. So,
well, it's important too, I think, to help the first responders, right?
Yeah.
And that's a good thing to do. And there's special programs out there for first responders, and
Yeah.
so there's a lot there. So, I just think that's an important thing, and you're obviously in that
Yeah.
much more than I am, and you understand the value of helping that group.
Definitely.
So let me ask, if somebody's just listening to this show, what is one of the programs out there for first responders?
So they have the title company. I know Meridian Title has Hometown Heroes, and they offer them, I think it's $100 credit or possibly more, towards their closing. So that is one program that I do know of.
Okay. I just like, especially because if they're listening to this, they just did not know, and now you know.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Well, and especially if you're like a veteran, obviously there's the VA loans. And so there's a lot out there.
Yeah. So let me just ask you this question. So when you got into real estate, what was your ultimate dream?
Oh, my ultimate dream.
I don't care how far out there it is. What's your ultimate dream?
Basically, and this is my why, is to take the financial burden off of my husband so he doesn't have to work so hard. And because he's like, I don't know how to explain that. He has done a lot for us, and I feel I just want to be able to give that back to him, and then also get our kids through college and travel. So like, it's kind of like it all encompasses, but that's mostly, yeah.
So when is he going to become a real estate agent? Because that tends to be what happens.
I know that. I have a friend, that's what her husband is doing. I don't know. He'll be my assistant. I don't know if he will get into the real estate field. So he loves living on the edge with his career. So
well, we had
one. He retired.
Okay.
For being a firefighter, and then went into it. And
with his wife.
With his wife.
Yeah.
Now he wasn't. I don't think he was the upfront person.
Yeah.
The one you see and everything. He did a lot of, but there's many different fields that he could easily do, and just to help you out and to make it where you don't have so much burden. So we're going to recruit him to help. No, it's fine.
Okay. Awesome. No, maybe you guys could talk to him.
But it helped. Everybody's, every client's different.
Yes.
And you and I know this. We've dealt with many, many people. Some people resonate more with somebody,
Right.
different people.
Yeah.
Or sometimes you're like, I don't think I'm explaining this where this person understands it. And then this other person comes in and they can explain it because they match better.
Yeah, definitely.
Somehow they're able to do that. And I think that's an important piece.
Yeah.
As soon as he noticed she's not getting through them, he comes in there and starts yelling like a drill sergeant. Do you get it now?
I don't think that's going to work.
Yeah. Well, and that's the beauty about real estate, is that there are so many realtors. And so, because everyone's not a match for someone. So, and that's what I appreciate about this business. You don't realize how many people there are until you actually get out there and get in it. So
yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of real estate that's sold too.
Yes, exactly.
And it's the markets go up and down and up and down, and there's different amounts of agents in there. But I think it's still the vast majority of agents don't do a whole lot. They're part-time, and then there's the group of full-time agents like yourself that do a lot more. And that's, there's value both ways. I think one of the big values is why we like to talk about the mentors.
Yeah.
I think one of the big values of a new person in real estate, fairly new person in real estate, is they have a lot more time for somebody. But some people would say, well, they don't have the knowledge. But if you have the right mentors, you've got all the experience you need, because you've got easy access to people.
Yeah.
And I've been doing mortgages for a long time. I've been in real estate for over almost 40 years. And there is never a day, or rarely a day, that goes by that there isn't something different that comes up even after 40 years, because things change.
Yes. Yeah.
they change all the time. And are you finding that even in the time that you've been in real estate, how much it's changed in that time frame?
Oh, yes. Because when I first started, we were having multiple offers. And if you didn't have your offer in basically that day, and you probably weren't going to get it in, and the house was already pending that night. And I feel like now lately it's coming back around where you do still get multiple offers, but it's not as many as it was, and it's not as cutthroat. Like, people aren't passing on inspections, and I'm kind of excited for that, because then I can actually learn and negotiate a little bit, get all of those, learn all of those things that I wasn't learning at the beginning. So yeah, and that's what I think. It's always changing. It's not the same. And I feel like we progress and we just keep moving forward, So, and I think that's why I like it. It's always changing. So
yeah, that was the one thing that scared me during that time, is people passing on inspections.
Yes.
I mean, I understand the reason why it happened, but I know I cannot spend that much money. Without one.
I agree. I had first-time home buyers during that time. And it was down to their offer and another offer. And they wanted them to pass the inspection. And I said, you guys can do what you want to do. I said, but I would highly recommend that you get an inspection. Especially as first-time home buyers, you don't know what you're getting into. So, yeah.
You never know what you're getting. I've had people tell me, oh, this house, we're having an inspection, but we don't need one. This house is perfect, because on the outside, everything looks great. The inspection comes in and it's like, oh my gosh, look at all the things that are wrong, and they end up backing out of the house.
Yeah.
So you never know. And it can be expensive.
Yes. Yeah, it can. You don't know if your whole HVAC system, if they don't get in there, or plumbing. So yeah.
And we're talking about how things are expensive.
Yeah.
HVAC is really expensive now. It's unbelievable. Plumbing. It's just, everything is very expensive.
Yes.
So you're better off having somebody who knows what they're doing, do an inspection, and then you know what you're getting.
Exactly.
Or much better idea.
Yeah.
All right. So since you have all this knowledge now and you want to give it to everybody, I want some people to call you. What's the best way they can get in touch with you?
They can call me at 317-670-0304.
All right. See, she makes it nice and easy. All these people recently have had easy numbers, 0304.
But that was call or text, right?
Yep.
Yeah, call or
And what was
text.
the number again? I can't remember.
No, you're fine. 317-670-0304.
Okay, perfect. And to get a hold of Ian or I can't remember our own number half the time. Go to hardworkingmortgageguys.com. That's hardworkingmortgageguys.com, or you can give us a call at 317-672-1938. It's 317-672-1938. 1938.
All right. So now we get in the question of the week. And this is always a hard one.
Okay.
Well, what was your first car?
Oh, I don't remember the make, but I know it was a stick shift. And I was so excited, but it was so scary to drive, because there used to be a hill. It's just past 31 where O'Malley's was.
Okay.
And when I had to go up that little hill and with a stick shift, I thought I was going to go backwards, or my car was going to stall. But anyways, I can't remember the make, but I just know it was a stick.
Yeah. I had the same, my second car was a stick.
Yeah.
And I was coming home from IPY, and this is like the second day driving. I haven't had any hills. And I basically try to avoid them, but I forgot about this one. I'm stuck, and some guy gets right on my bumper. I go, I'm going to hit this guy. I'm going to hit it. I'm either going to stall or roll back. Luckily, I just gunned it and hit it just right, and I just took off. So I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
But I so thought I was hitting the guy.
I know, it's scary.
I had sticks. I didn't have that problem, but my wife, when we were dating, I had a Jeep Wrangler. At the time, they're called CJ5. It was a CJ5. I've had several, so I can't remember. And she actually had to put the emergency brake on, get out, let me take over, because she was just on a little tiny hill out in the country, and there was somebody behind her, and she just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Scared her to death. And even today, she will not drive a stick because of that.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. Although sometimes, like, I just want to drive a car that's like an automatic, or not an automatic, a manual.
Yeah.
I was about to ask you, what stick do you drive nowadays? They're hard to find.
I know.
They are, but they're hard. You can't. People won't steal your car. They don't know how to drive them.
Yeah.
I've read things where they were going to carjack somebody.
Yeah,
They can't drive them. That's not bad.
There you go.
Good security system.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So I got a really tough one for you.
Okay.
Even harder than that
Oh,
question.
great.
So we've all been at new jobs and we've all had a learning process where we're like, oh, shoot. And then you just never make that mistake again. So what is one lesson you have learned?
I don't know if I have an answer for this question, which sounds really bad. You're putting me on the spot.
Wow. She does everything perfect. So you guys definitely need to call her.
I don't know about that. About the perfectionism, no.
No, there's so much. It's hard to
Yeah.
remember. It's very hard to remember everything that's going on, I think. We've had some pretty good stories, though, of people who've had things happen to them.
Yeah, I think I think I just have like a mental block. There's so much,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many things. So what is like your main goal for the next few years?
I would like to grow my business in all forms, whether it's with clients, being able to sell more and buy more. I think it's an all-encompassing goal. I want to be able to provide a good service to everyone. Yes.
And do you have a niche yet, or are you kind of still trying to find your
trying to
niche?
figure it out. I love working with first-time home buyers. I'm learning the luxury market. I don't really know. I think families is my niche. I think because I love my family, I like helping families, and I kind of can relate to those more. I'm open to helping anyone. But yeah, I feel like I'm just trying to figure it all out still. I mean, I've been in the business for 2 years now. And I've grown more than I thought I ever would be. And I think I've had a lot of success in the short amount of time.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm still just trying to navigate my way, through.
It doesn't really change much after 30 years either. You're still trying to navigate your way through.
Well, that's good. That makes me, I like that. It's,
Yeah. And as long as you're always learning, that's what we've noticed when we talk to all these gurus we have on, and most of that, well, all of, we had, how long, 52 years?
Yep.
52 years he'd been a real estate agent, and he still was learning. Mm-hmm. And his assistant had only been with him 40 something years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's amazing.
It's just crazy how, but it's kind of how real estate is. The other thing about real estate is most people never quit. They just, because I think it's because you build this relationship with these people, with your customers. They're really not clients, or they're friends.
Yeah.
And you want to work with them and you want to help them. And then, so it's a hard thing to stop doing.
Yes. No, I agree. I can totally see that happening. Yeah.
So have you thought about, you didn't mention earlier that you use social media. So is that you're trying to get into it, or?
Yes. So I'm not one that likes to draw attention to myself, but I am trying to build my social media presence. So I do have Instagram, and at the beginning of my career, I was trying to do like Reels and TikToks, and I'm planning on doing that again. I just really haven't had time to do so. So yeah.
You've got the right age kids to help you.
I know. Yes, exactly. That my daughter, she can tell me if I'm doing it wrong. So
It is something, and I had to go through it too, is it's difficult to stop using it. Like my wife and I, we used Facebook when it first came out. Then we got married. We were just like, let's just get rid of this. So we both deleted it.
yeah.
Oh my goodness. It's so hard to get back into to using social media. So I fully agree. I fully understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
It's hard to just make it a habit now.
Definitely. Yes. And I think really like the biggest reason I have social media is to keep in contact with the people that I know. So turning it to using it to possibly like attract people is really hard for me,
But couldn't it be kind of one and the same? Because those same people, here's how I've always looked at, and I don't do a lot of social media. I hire somebody to do that.
Yeah.
Because I'm worse than both you guys. But I, for years, and still do, I work on, it's all about getting the referrals, right?
Yes.
And repeat business. So you got to stay in touch with those people. And social media is a great way to stay in touch. As an example, when I graduated from high school, I mean, I basically don't know anybody from when I graduated from high school, right?
Right.
They're all gone.
Yeah.
My kids graduated from high school, and they're still friends with a lot of the people they graduated from high school. And they are, even if they aren't friends, they still know what's going on in their lives because of Facebook, and they're able to keep in touch. And as long as they know what you're doing, right? They know you're a real estate agent. That's, I think, one of the big hurdles when somebody's new to any industry, if they're a new loan officer, they're a new real estate agent, people don't see you as a real estate agent. So that's what you have to do, right?
Right.
And so you just have to make sure everything out there, I don't think everything you put out has to be about real estate, but they have to remember, because they can't refer you if they don't remember what you do.
Right. Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so you have to keep out there in front of them. And it doesn't cost anything, which is the beauty. It takes time.
Yes, exactly.
That's the hard part, right?
Yes.
But you have kids
Right.
that are young
Yeah.
that can do it for you.
That's right. Yes.
Did you know that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. Well, when you guys were asking me about hiring my husband, I was like, I really need to hire my kids because they're at the perfect age.
Yeah.
So have your kids thought about, I know you haven't been in it for like 20 years, but have your kids ever thought about, hey, maybe I want to do real estate?
I don't know. No, it has not come up. My daughter has mentioned she would help me like with if I have graphics or something like that. She likes doing that type of stuff. My son, no. But that's a good question. I haven't thought about that.
Well, the one thing that Rick and I see all the time is you watch, especially a lot of realtors been in it for a while, their kids are anti it. They're like, my parents grew up, I don't want to do it. They'll go off, do something. 5 years later, guess what? It comes back to real estate. They all do.
Right.
It's just an interesting thing that they were like, oh, yeah, I guess this was the right fit.
Yes.
So.
I could see my daughter possibly doing it, whether I don't think she sees that, but I could see it, just her personality. So.
Your son sounds like he has some possibility of becoming a real estate agent too.
Yeah. Yes. Well, he's very entrepreneurial.
Yeah,
So
that's what it sounded like.
Yeah. Yes. And that's what he wants to have flexibility with his career, where kind of like we were talking about your sons, like being able to travel and having that flexibility, which I'm all for. I want them to be happy no matter what they do, but make some money at the same time.
Yeah. But real estate's good for that. The weird part of real estate, even better than I do, is that you have freedom in a way.
Right. Yes.
But not total freedom.
Yes.
It's like, yes, you work for yourself, but the reality is if you're not available for somebody, then you don't help them.
Right.
They go somewhere else.
Right. Yeah. You just
So you
have
gotta
to
be
be available.
Yes.
Yes.
So you do a lot of first-time home buyers. So Rick and I like to ask this question. What is the benefit, whether it's mentally or financially, for a first-time buyer getting a home?
I'm sorry, can you?
Yeah. So what is either a mental benefit or financial benefit for a first-time home buyer actually owning a home instead of renting?
Yes. So I guess just building the equity in your home. So, because if you're renting, that money is going towards someone else or to someone else. And so say you just want to stay there for 2 or 3 years, you can turn around, and sell that home and have some equity built up. I would say that.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I fully agree with you. I mean, it's the funniest thing is, especially during this time when the rates are a little higher than what they were, is you get all the people going, this isn't a great time to buy. Well, for a first-time home buyer, it is.
Yeah.
And I actually, my family members were just having this discussion, and they were telling me that, no, it's not a good time for my brother-in-law to buy a home. I go, no, this is the perfect time.
Yeah.
Because what happened is now you're not competing against everybody, and you're also not throwing out home inspections and all this. You're not bidding $50,000 to $60,000 over asking price for a home where first-time home buyers don't have it.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I'm like, no, this is the perfect time for him because, all right, rates are a little higher. Guess what? You can refinance in a year or two and then be just fine.
Definitely.
I go, but what happens when the rates drop? It's going to get busier again.
Right.
So this is the great time for first-time home buyers.
Definitely. Well, and the rates were high like this, although I think they're coming down. They have come down.
Yeah, they have come down from where they were.
Yes. But I would say, wasn't it 13 years ago? They were about that high, like 7.75. I just remember that because we sold our house and bought a house, and they were they were high at that time, but then we refinanced
Yep.
and it was fine. So, and I'm excited for next year.
You bring that up. So the funny question is, and we should even ask Rick, find out what his grandparents' first house
Oh, yes.
interest rate was. But you ask either your parents or even their grandparents, so what was your house interest rate? And your grandparents will say about 14%.
And it wasn't a 30-year fixed rate.
No.
No. Yeah.
So it's all relative. I mean, so you have to look at it that way. I mean, so even was it in the 70s, it was right around that 14%. What is it? Probably about 20 years ago, it was 10%. Yes, it's come down. Great. But guess what? It's not as bad as it once was.
Right. Yes. And you always have those ebbs and flows.
Yep.
Yeah. And the reality is real estate is a great investment.
Yeah.
And while you're sitting on the sidelines, you're missing out on the equity that you would be building. And you're still, if you're wherever you're living, unless it's a free place to live, you're living at mom and dad's, you're paying, right? And you're whatever interest rate. I have a friend who works for a big apartment complex. They invest in apartment complexes, and it's one of the big hardest things right now is because all these low interest rates on those big buildings, they are short-term loans, and all these, they're coming due, and all of a sudden you got this higher rate and it's harder to make it work. They're going to raise their rents to cover it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So it may not be looking, you may not see it that you're paying 7.5%, 8% or whatever the rate happens to be, but you are. That's just the way it is.
What's their interest rate on a rental? It's 100%.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, you get none of that money back.
Yeah.
Where, as you mentioned, and this is what Rick and I are numbers guys, and I'm not very a big emotional person. Ask my wife. But
She's not either.
No, she's not. We're both. She's an accountant, and I do this, so we're both mathematic people.
Yes.
So it's all about appreciation, and the more you have a house, the average in Indiana, I think over the last 30, 40 years is roughly about 5%. Okay, so if you're going to gain that every single year, yes, there are ups and downs. For instance, 08, 09 was a couple of down years, but then the rest were basically up. Why would you not take that?
Right.
That's a huge investment over a 5 to 10 year period.
Definitely. Well, and if you're paying rent is typically higher than what you would be paying
Correct.
to own a house, and you're getting a smaller amount of space.
Yep.
So
You can't customize it.
No.
It's not yours. And you don't have this. It's funny. You have such a different feeling when you own it
Yes.
over renting it.
Right.
And until you do that, you may not know, but there's a difference.
Yes. Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So I have to ask, you lived in California.
Yeah.
So did you actually own a home in California, or is there a big difference between that and here?
Oh, yes. So it was cheaper when we lived there, but we rented an apartment. And so the apartment that we had before we moved back here was a studio, and I think it was like 644 square feet, and we were paying around $1,300 a month for that. And now it's definitely doubled that amount. So that's one of the reasons we came back to Indiana, was because of cost of living. So there's no way we could have made it on one salary out there. There's so much more to do out there. You have the ocean and all of that. But anyway, so yeah.
Well, you have Indiana Beach here. No, it's not. I'm from Florida. Trust me, it's not, people.
Okay.
It's interesting. You have people tell me that. I'm like,
Yeah.
no. I don't know what you guys were thinking.
Michigan Beach is nice. Or if you go up to the sand dunes, it is nice. But only
It's still
during certain times of the year.
Not right now.
Yeah, no, not right
My
now.
boys go birding there, and it's cold.
Yes.
All right. So last time,
Okay.
I want some people to get a hold of you. What's the best way?
Yes, you can call or text me at 317-670-0304.
And what was that one more time?
Yes, 317-670-0304.
And to get a hold of Ian or I, go to hardworkingmortgageguys.com. That's hardworkingmortgageguys.com, or you can give us a call at 317-672-1938. It's 317-672-1938. And please follow us for more Indy's Real Estate Gurus.
A reminder, if you have any friends, family, coworkers looking to buy, sell, refinance, let us know. We'll be more than happy to help you. Erica, thank you for joining us. It's been a pleasure having you on our show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, we can't wait to see what you do and how you grow over the next few years.
Branch NMLS number 33041. Rick Ripma's NMLS number 664589. Ian Arnold's NMLS number is 1995469. Equal housing opportunity. Some restrictions apply.